Hey guys, thanks for watching Homesteading on the Side. Tonight for dinner we're going to make some hot buttered pretzels. This recipe I got from the King Arthur Flour Baker's Companion cookbook. And the recipe makes 8 pretzels, so I'm going to be doubling it because 8 pretzels in my house is a snack. I'm also going to make a cheddar cheese dipping sauce to go alongside, so let's get started. Alright guys, so I got everything put together, and remember all the measurements, I am doubling this recipe, so all the measurements for this are doubled. I'm going to need 5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, a tablespoon and a half of yeast, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 cups of warm water. Now the recipe says to put everything in the mixer and that I don't need to proof it. So I've got it all in, and you can see the measurements were spot on because as it's kneading it's not sticking to the sides and there's no residue left over. So I'm going to let this knead for about 5 minutes until it's nice and smooth. And it's going to be a kind of sticky dough. It's not going to be like a super firm dough even though it's been kneaded. So when I go to roll it out, I'll show you what it looks like. It's been kneading for 5 minutes and now it's time to let it rise. And I've never heard of a rising like this before except in this recipe. So it's kind of unique, at least to me. I'm going to generously flour my board and turn out my dough. Like I said, it's kind of it's a soft dough. So it's really soft. It's almost kind of sticky. It's not tacky, but it's just kind of sticky. It is beautiful and soft and smooth. And it calls for the dough to rise in a bag. So I'm going to coat it with flour. Don't mix it in. You don't want to incorporate the flour. You just kind of want to coat it so that it doesn't stick to the bag because it's already got enough flour in the recipe. So just be careful. Like I said, it's soft. And I coat it with flour. And then I use, I have a bread bag for when I make bread at home, or of course I'm at home. And it's just a bread bag with an open end, that it keeps my bread fresh. So I'm going to do that because it says to leave it open so it can rise. So I'm actually just going to leave this here because I'm going to wind up using it. And just leave it right on top. And then just fold. No, I'm going to leave the bag open. I'm just going to take one of my kitchen rags and put it over just like that. So now it's got room to expand, and it says to let it rise for 30 minutes. So I will come back as soon as this is done. So here it is out of the bag, and since this is a double recipe, I'm cutting this one in half. I'll put this to the side and shape this to where I can get even pieces out of it. So because it's a double recipe, half I'm supposed to get 8 pieces out of each side. And just guesstimate, no big deal. And I don't have any pretzel salt, so I'm just using regular just sea salt. It's what I got, it's what I cook with. So now that I've got my 8 pieces, also I have a cup of warm water and 2 teaspoons of sugar that we're going to dip it in. And I've got my cookie sheet that has been sprayed. So just roll these out into ropes. Make sure you get the ends. I usually have like great big ends. It's really soft dough, so be careful, otherwise it'll tear. And then just roll it up, twist it, and down. And there is your pretzel. And then dip it in the sugar water and place it on the cookie sheet. So let me get these done. I'll be right back. So I got all these done, and I just sprinkled some of the salt on the top, and I'm going to let these rest for 10 minutes. I've got my oven preheating to 500 degrees, and these will cook for 8 or 9 minutes until they are brown. So while these are going for 10 minutes, I'm going to get the other batch done, And when these go in the oven, I'm going to start the cheese sauce. Now for the cheese sauce, I have a 16-ounce block, or 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. And you're going to need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and a whole can of evaporated milk, and then some regular either whole milk or 2% milk, whatever you use to kind of keep it thinned out. So instead of using a great big bowl and dirtying it up, I'm going to add this to my saucepan, mix in the cornstarch, and then just pour the evaporated milk on top. Now at first it's going to look kind of grainy and runny, but as it heats and the cheese melts, it will all come together. And then if you want it a little more thin, go ahead and add some whole milk. There it is, all mixed together. And I'm going to cook it over medium-low heat. See if it'll focus. Until it starts to melt. Like I said, just take it and thin it out as need be with whole milk. So just, like I said, let this cook until it melts. It's going to look grainy and weird at first as it starts, but as the cheese all melts, it'll all come together. So I'm going to get my second batch of pretzels started. So the second batch is in, first batch is out. You can see they're all nice and brown. They're beautiful. Just take now some melted butter and just slather it. And I mean slather. I know it may seem like a lot of butter, but it all soaks in, and that's what gives these pretzels their unique flavor. That buttery pretzel like you get from the mall. So I've got 6 tablespoons total for all 18, and like I said, make sure you use every bit of the butter. These are going to be delicious. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and stir my sauce. I don't want to let it burn or scorch or anything like that, and just waiting on the second batch to be done. So we will see y'all here soon. So here they are, all 16 out of the oven. They are brown, and now they are soft because they are covered and slathered in butter. I put a little extra salt on top just because we like a little extra salt. And here is the, see if I can do it without dropping the whisk. The cheese sauce. It is nice and smooth and thick and ready to be served up alongside of these yummy pretzels. I hope you make it. I hope y'all enjoy. I'll see you next time.